Happy Monday. We're going to dive into some free coaching with Sarah. This question comes from Lauren. Lauren, thank you for your question. She wants to know more about sound baths and frequency healing. So sound baths are certainly one of the forms in which we can receive the medicine of frequency. But there are many other ways. There's the solfeggio, I have no idea ever if I'm saying that right, solfeggio frequencies. Even things like crystal healing and vibrational medicine use a similar science as sound healing to work on our bodies. And I always recommend to my clients, my community, to try out different types of frequency healing, especially as empaths. We may notice that we are extra sensitive to frequency healing, or that certain types of frequencies we can feel in a larger capacity than other frequencies. So you can try out lots of different ways, and there's even devices in which you can purchase that are programmed with different frequencies. So I kind of wanted to start just by talking about there's lots of different types of frequency healing and sound baths or crystal singing bowls, which it also can include just like musical tracks or other instruments like the gong. A lot of things can go into that. Now, what I'm always interested about is the science behind these things, and why do we feel so good after a sound bath? Or why do we feel so maybe like our third eye, our intuition is awakened and inspired and receiving messages and downloads after we listen to the third eye chakra frequency, which is in hertz? So this is actually something that I teach in the vibrational medicine module inside of my coach training program, Illuminated. And we start to understand how our bodies are receptive to different frequencies. And our bodies are mostly liquid, they're mostly water. And think about, maybe you may or may not have done this experiment before, but if you hit a tuning fork, and you bring the tuning fork, you don't even have to touch the water to see the ripple effect in a bowl of water. So bang the tuning fork. It's just a metal tuning fork that you use for music. And you bring it to the water and you're gonna see all these little ripples. There's also some really cool YouTube videos of this where they take this, it almost looks like the top of a drum, and they pour sand on it, and they project a sound down onto that surface. I'm not exactly sure what the surface is, and the particles, the sand, I think it's sand, on that surface make these very geometrically precise shapes. It is so cool. Same thing with Dr. Emoto's water experiments. Now, he uses the power of intention and how it changes the geometric structure and frequency of water. But if our intentions can change the frequency of, or the shape of water, then certainly a sound can also change the geometric makeup and structure of water. And if our human bodies are primarily water, then the sounds that we encounter that are in our space are all vibration. So sounds oscillate at different frequencies. There's a specific frequency for each of your chakras. Each of those crystal singing bowls that you may have heard at a sound bath create a different frequency. And usually they're associated with a chakra, or a note on like the piano. So the note A or B or C, or the chakra, root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. So we have these different sounds that oscillate at different frequencies, and those are measured in what we call hertz. And our brains, electrical, because we are also electric. Just think about when you get static electricity and shock. There's a little example of how you felt that before. Not only are we mostly made up of water, but our bodies and our brains also have electrical activity. And so this is still being researched, but there's some evidence that shows that listening to either the solfeggio frequencies or the binaural beats may alter the brain's electrical activity And we can use that in ways to either like open up or balance chakras, to reduce anxiety, to promote sleep, to enhance brain function. It's really, really cool. And it's not a science, I think, that gets talked about too frequently. So I'm excited to bring you a little bit of the geeky, nerdy side of this, which is what I always dive into in all of these more like spiritual, energetic principles and practices and modalities. I'm always curious about the science, because there's something to be said for, believing in beyond what the eye can see. But if there's a scientific explanation, I just feel like it's easier to get more people on board. And I love to bring down the barriers to people and help them understand that there is science behind a lot of these modalities that we use. So I hope that makes sense as far as being able to, it's like attunement. So you're attuning, or your body is attuning to the frequency in which you encounter. So when you go into a sound bath and they go through all the different singing bowls that are assigned to different chakra hertz or frequencies, you're going to feel more balanced because they just went through all those different frequencies of the chakras, and your body attunes to that. Same thing if and it's more powerful to listen to, especially binaural beats, when you have headphones in versus just on a speaker, if you didn't already know that. And so you can put your headphones in and listen to binaural beats. Same thing, your body's going to attune to that frequency. And I mentioned crystal healing is similar because crystals are crystalline, they hold their frequency. Whereas our human bodies are not crystalline. They do not hold a frequency. I mean, they temporarily hold a frequency, but we aren't the same frequency every single day, or even throughout the day. And so because we are much more like mushy, pliable beings, then we can use some of these more like permanent, static, absolute frequencies to affect our watery, mushy beings. Okay, that's all. Hope this has maybe brought down some of the barriers to understanding around sound baths, frequency healing. And again, there's many ways to access this, whether it is through a device that you purchase, or going to a sound bath, or just listening to music. There's free ways to do this. There's very expensive ways to do this. Either way, I hope you guys give it a try and let me know, especially as an empath who tends to be very sensitive, how you might respond to frequency healing.